Hey, how's it going, guys? It's Randy here with the Hernandez Credit Group. Today I wanted to share some ideas that I learned from a book that I'm reading called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I'm sure a lot of you guys have read the book, but it's my first time around. I just want to explain the difference between not only an asset and a liability, but also what a real asset is. So a lot of the stuff I was supposed to learn in economics school, but they don't really teach that in college. So here it is. So first, let's go into what an asset is. An asset is basically something that you own that has value. So, for example, capital, money sitting in your bank, your car, jewelry, RV, boats, purses, shoes, anything that could have value. So the common denominator between all this stuff is they're usually not income producing. These assets, or so they call assets, these are things that depreciate as soon as you drive it off the lot, or they just sit there in your closet and it has no real value, it doesn't add value into your life. And if you want to liquidate it, you're going to get quarters on the dollar, maybe even nickels. Now, a real asset is actually a lot different than an asset because this is your money making money for you. As soon as you buy a CD, a bond, or a stock, you're going to get paid dividends throughout a number of years, a certain percentage. So your money is actually growing by itself. Or if you have a self-sustaining business, such as a car wash or a restaurant that you have managers for and it's just a well-oiled machine, that's going to be making money for you in your sleep. You don't have to worry about it. Next is income producing real estate. That's way, way different than just regular real estate. And I'll go into the details a little bit more later. And so you want to think about these real assets as a money factory. So it's a factory of money. Money factories. Wouldn't that be great if you could just print money and make money exponentially? That's what a real asset is. And finally, we're going to go into what a liability is. Ooh, it's scary, right? Big liabilities, debt. Oh no. But no, actually there's good debt and there's bad debt. So good debt would maybe be something like car payment because you need to go from point A to point B. Car insurance, house insurance, Galvar fees, real estate fees. These are helping you produce income on a higher level, and it's just required for your well-being, basically. And then there's bad debt, such as credit card debt from going to the bars or going out to eat, concerts, traveling. These things, it's good for the soul, but it's not necessarily making you money in the long run. And finally, what's really good debt or bad debt is your mortgage. And let me go into why that could be good or bad shortly. So this is why your mortgage payment could be either good or bad. So if you have an income producing piece of real estate, then every mortgage payment you're paying is paying down the loan amount and your equity, and it goes up every year. So your wealth actually increases with every payment and you can potentially cash flow. However, on the other side of the coin, if your mortgage is going towards a non-income producing expense hole, oh man, it's a bad deal. If you're having a payment of like $4,000 or $5,000 just because you qualify for it, then you're gonna tear your hair out in the beginning of the month because you bought too big of a house that you didn't need. So it really depends on how you allocate your mortgage, and for those reasons it could be a good thing or a bad thing. So these are the differences between an asset, a liability, and a real asset. And from the book that I've been reading, it turns out that the rich are really good at turning an asset into a real asset. For example, if you were to inherit a boat, many people that aren't rich, they're going to be like, oh my god, there's a lot of maintenance, there's a lot of depreciation, what a headache, right? But the wealthy, their mindset's really great, and they'll think of something like, oh, I can take this boat, I can make a business for sightseeing, maybe I'll do a fishing business. There's a lot of opportunities with everything that happens in your life. So when an opportunity comes, the rich are really good at turning an asset into a real asset.